Alrighty, team, let's cover keeping your clients motivated year round. So at the moment, like I'm based in Sydney, we're about to come into winter in the cooler months. And 100%, there's certain times within all of our fitness businesses, our gyms, our boot camps, our PT studios, right, where the motivation level of the whole gym goes up. And there's also times where it goes down, right? People aren't attending as much. They've got like a lot of other things on. So one of the things that you must master, and I'm really, really big, and this isn't a massively sexy topic, but I think it's going to add some massive value to everyone because I love marketing and sales. And, this retention, this internal marketing strategy that I'm going to give you 100% like isn't as sexy as like leads and sales, but it's really, really important to create a highly profitable business so that you're retaining at the highest level that you can. And we had this issue. I kind of share a story a lot where we grew our businesses in the area where Facebook ads were so easy to grow, and we're signing up a lot of people there. And then a couple of months later, they would all drop off. So we really had to learn these tactics the hard way. I want to give them to you the easy way before you're having retention issues so you can build this amazing internal marketing plan and playbook so that you keep your clients really motivated year round. Now, guys, I'm going to give you 4 things that will help. The key is, right, that you're not one of them, not one singular point that I give you will solve the solution. You need to make sure that you have a plethora of different things running that really inspires and motivates your clients. Now, guys, the first one that I talk about a lot is making sure that you reset their goals every 12 weeks. And I want you to just have a think about when someone first starts in your business, they've either done like a face-to-face consultation or they've done maybe a phone consultation, and you've gone in depth about then your training, their nutrition, their, habits, what they want to achieve, why they want to achieve it. And one of the issues we found in our own business is we had like a really, really good sales system. It was amazing. But then we didn't have anything that really complemented that 12 weeks down the line, 24 weeks down the line, 36 weeks down the line. Because I want you to have a think about your own training and your own health and fitness goals. And I'm sure over the last year, you've done different types of training. You've had different goals, maybe had something like I know, recently my grandfather died, right? And one of the things that when my grandfather died is I started to focus a lot more on my health. And I don't have any kids in my life at the moment, but I started to think about what type of grandfather do I want to be, how fit and active and healthy. So I know myself, my own goals have changed. And the same things happen in your clients' lives all the time. They're bombarded with information. They've maybe read new books on nutrition. And you want to make sure, guys, that you do a goal setting with them every 12 weeks. We made a special week of it. It was called like Results Week, where we did some strength testing and things like that. Then we simply just sent them out a nice little woo-foo form or a form using ACR, Google, however you want to do it. And it had what's their like short-term goal over the next 12 weeks. What do they want to achieve over the next year? So anything they're struggling with, there are any ways that we can help them achieve their goals, and what can they do to improve their current health and fitness results? Because we want to teach them how to think for themselves. And then we would like send them a really nice Loom video explaining everything. Would send them a couple of articles and a few blogs to really assist as well. And there might be times where we need to sit down with that client for 10 or 15 minutes just to reset their goals and things like that. So we would email it out, we'd text message. And our big goal was to make sure we got that 12-week goal setting back from everyone who is currently active on a debit. And there's obviously, you know what it's like dealing with humans. There was a lot of follow-up and messages and reminders and things like that. Life would be too easy if all our members just got it back with one text message, one email. But adding that system in, guys, will help your clients stay motivated, and you'll know their journeys, what's happening in their world. And you can add a couple of different questions in that suit you 100%. Those are the questions that we asked. And then we would load everyone's documents up into like a 12-week like Google Drive. So we'd know their goals and would give them different checkpoints and map out, if they wanted to lose 5 kilos, we're like, cool, this is the amount of weight we need to lose per week. These are all the habits you have to implement. And it would really motivate and inspire people a lot to spend that like one-on-one time with them and making sure that you have their best interests always at heart. And I highly recommend doing that goal setting every 12 weeks. The next one, guys, is making sure you have regular touch points based on attendance. And I can't stress this one enough. Like, one of the things I think I was really lucky with is we just did the basics really well. So if a client missed a session, we'd make sure that we, message them. If they late canceled for a session, would contact them. If they trained under 3 sessions per week, would contact them, would send them cards when they're like getting really, really good results, and we'll track their results on InBody and things like that. But you've got to make sure that if someone's in a really good habit, so you've got clients at the moment, maybe training 3-4 days a week, they're getting really amazing results. You've got to have stop gaps and measures in place that, what happens if Jimmy starts training at your gym and he's doing 4 sessions? Do you have the internal systems to track whether I start to go from 4 to 2? Because if I go from 4 to 2, then 2 to 1, 1 goes to 0 and I cancel, right? So you want to make sure you're tracking the attendance and you're reaching out to people at the right time and you're really tracking their habits internally. So you know when they're like getting after it and they're loving it and they're doing their food diet and they're getting good results, but also to identify before they do, like, oh, hey, like we're kind of slipping a little bit here. Let's focus on the basics, right, to get their health and fitness back. And that really goes a long way, guys. And not many gyms actually go to that level where they're doing even what I presented, like when they miss sessions, when they cancel, things like that. That's the most basic levels of customer service, right? And we've got to make sure that we're doing that, and especially contacting people who are attending 2, 1, or 0 sessions per week to get them booked in, so that 1 week doesn't turn into 2, that 2 weeks into 3 weeks where they haven't trained much, and then they just cancel on you guys and go to another gym, right? Another thing, guys, to keep your clients motivated year round is to have internal and external events. Now, one of the things with these internal events, like we use MyZone a lot. So we'd have like, March Madness. We would have team training events where they were in teams of 5 and they had to do little challenges together and things like that. Were incredibly popular and worked really, really well. We'd have like internal 8-week challenges with like prize money and things like that. Right, you can think of all these events. Like you sit down for 30 minutes, you go, hey, what are some things we can do internally to motivate our clients? Like we would do like beach workouts and things like that. It doesn't have to be anything amazing. It's just got to be memorable and give them something to focus on. And I mentioned before, guys, and you might have missed it, our 12-week strength training was a big internal event that people would train for 12 weeks. But then you've also got external events, okay? You've got things like Tough Mudder, Spartan Race, running events and things like that, which are about to be on a lot more over the next coming months as well, as this coronavirus, thing kind of pisses off out of our lives, thank God. So by getting people focused on those internal and external events, it gives them an uptake. So one of our most popular ones, guys, was called Slay Santa, which we did because we know in December that our usage rate drops massively. Christmas parties, hangovers, shopping, it's manic in December. Everyone knocking off work for the year. So we had a thing called Slay Santa, which was essentially a usage challenge. Everyone who did X amount of sessions got like a singlet and some socks and some cool gifts and things like that. And that got everyone's motivation level up because we were tracking it on MyZone and we were tracking their attendance and their leaderboards, right? That got a couple of those people who weren't training to train a little bit more, right? And that's the key. Just get them to do that 10, 20, 30% better in your gym compared to if they were doing it by themselves. And guys, the last one, which is really, really important, because a lot of people train at gyms for different reasons. They come here, they want like really amazing results, but they stay for the community and the relationships long term. So you want to make sure that you're fostering and building relationships within the gym. So at our main gym in Brookvale, we had a thing where we went for coffee every Saturday after a class. And that was so popular. And like even to this day, we have 15, 20 people who go out for coffee together. And those people would never lose that business because they've got really amazing, strong relationships. But then how can you foster relationships outside? So we've got the coach to client relationship. Like you've got to like your coach or mentor. They've got to be a good person before you even follow what they say, right? Make sure you're building those relationships. But then a couple of other like really cool things that we did is we would have like our Christmas parties, obviously Christmas in July we ran, which was like kind of like a charity event, like a trivia night. And then we had our Christmas party. We got our Christmas parties done generally in November. So we kind of steered clear of like all the Christmas parties that, might come over the top of the gym. So a lot of people could attend. But then we ran just little events like beers and banter on the last Friday of every month. We would have like a workout and everyone got 1 or 2 beers after the workout and they just got to sit and hang and like kind of like chill, right? Then we also like had events like charity boot camps where we'd raise money for a particular charity that was really powerful for someone within the business, one of the clients, which was absolutely amazing for relationships. We made sure we're always fostering friendships, because one of the really big things we always want to say is we want our clients to have 2 to 5 friends, ideally more, in the gym, where they love coming and hanging out with them. They know a little bit about their life and about their family. And a really good way to measure this, guys, are your clients just coming into the gym and then like pissing off after and doing nothing? Or are they chatting after? Do they have some relationships and some friendships? Because life's better when we're doing stuff with our friends, right? And our family. It's just funner. That's what life is. It's about memories. We want to make sure that we're fostering those relationships in the gym. So, when, someone's motivation's dipping, right? They come in for those extra 1 or 2 sessions a week because their really good friend Max is there and they love training with Max. And Max is like, hey, legend, make sure you come in for the session, really pumped to hang out, because that gets their usage up and it helps them get that little bit more motivated and attend a bit more, which gets them better results, right? Which you'll find like really healthy and fit people, let's say like ourselves, right? All my friends are fit and active. So we play tennis together, we run together, we go to the gym, we go for walks and things like that. Now, a lot of our clients won't have friends like that, right? And that's okay. But in a gym community, guys, you've got maybe 50, 100, 150, 200, maybe up to 500 people who are all interested in your health and fitness. So what better friends to have than friends you can train at the gym with? You can go for walks on weekends and runs and do fun run events or Tough Mudder. And guys, building good relationships will help your members be more motivated year round. So guys, just to recap everything, you want to make sure you're resetting your members' goals. We did it every 12 weeks. Nice woofu form. You can give them a call and have a chat, or send them a Loom video, was how we did it, with some articles and blogs. And then we would make sure that we're tracking their results each week over the next 12 weeks. So they hit the result, or we do the best possible thing that we can do to help them get that result. You want to make sure you have regular touch points on attendance. If they're not attending classes, if they're canceling, if they're not training 3 days per week, if their sessions go from 5 a week to 2, you need to identify that to keep them in really good habits. You want to make sure you have internal and external events, right? Really fun ones. You want to make sure that they're not all the same. They're not all running events. You've got events where people can socialize, events where people will train really hard, events like we did acrobatic yoga once, which is really cool. We got a special person in and she taught us acro yoga and things like that. You want to change it up and give them something to be excited about. And then, guys, always make sure in your business you're focusing on building really strong relationships. So it starts with the coach and client relationship, but then also, do your members have other friends in your gym, right, or your fitness business, who they love hanging out with and who they love spending time with? Because when their motivation's dipping, it's easy to come train with your friends. It's hard to come and train at a gym where you don't fucking talk to anyone, you don't have any relationships in there, and it's kind of a little bit of a drag, which is where like those gyms with an amazing community, where the coaches are like legends, where it's really fun, there's a great atmosphere, always do better than those gyms that are like super hard ass, like straight down the line. Everyone has a personality of like a fucking cardboard box. Those gyms like never do well. It's like you got to have really charismatic, friendly trainers, and then making sure that you're focusing on fostering client relationships with, external events like coffee, beers and banter, Christmas parties, giving them time where people can get to know each other. And guys, for those who like listen along right to the end, one of the really big things we did to foster relationships was to make sure that when people were partnered in workouts, that they got to know their partner. So we would ask little rapport questions like, all right, there's 6 people going that AMRAP. I just want you to make sure you introduce yourself to each other and, ask each other what everyone does for work, or what's your favorite travel location you're going to go to once the international travel opens up. And that way you can just it takes 30 seconds for them to chat, but they're just building a little bit of extra rapport every session. And then 2 people say, oh, I really want to travel to Spain. Like, oh, no way, I want to go to Spain too. My wife's actually Spanish. And then they built rapport, and then they might start to go for coffee and lunch and dinners together outside, right, and spend time together. And they've got those amazing relationships in the gym. So guys, thank you so much for watching along or listening along. I hope you got some value from that. Remember, you only get true value if you actually fucking do something about what I said. Pick one of the 4 tasks, right? apply, add it into your business. Make sure that you keep your motivation levels really high with your clients. And guys, if you ever need anything, please reach out to me. Probably best place is Instagram, Jimmy_Pompono. You can send me a message. I love when you guys message me about any value that I give you on the videos or on the podcast. So please reach out to me absolutely anytime. I hope you guys have an absolute epic day and that you have a nice, seamless structure to keep motivation levels within your gym really high at all times. And just remember, not one of the tasks will solve the problem. It needs to be a combination of all of them. You guys have a really